She was a senior lab technician, grounded in science, raised on logic. But one mysterious blood sample changed everything. The cells were alive, glowing, whispering a name she didn't understand. And then came the horror, the dreams, the voices. The man who walked into traffic with a smile on his face. This is the true story of how a scientist met the truth, not in a book, but in a miracle. Watch till the end to witness the moment her soul surrendered to the truth. Share this story with someone who still believes Islam is just a religion, not a miracle. The blood-spelled Allah, a scientist's haunting journey to Islam. The rain lashed down on the gray rooftops of Glasgow as Dr. Isla Ferguson stared blankly at the glowing monitor in her lab. She had always loved the sterile silence of the pathology department, the hum of machines, the faint scent of ethanol, the cold metallic feel of microscopes and test tubes. It made her feel in control, in command of her domain. She was a senior lab technician at one of Scotland's leading research hospitals, specializing in hematology and infectious diseases. But lately, that sense of control was slipping. It had started with the dreams. Every night, a dark corridor, flickering lights, a whisper, unintelligible yet familiar. Something was calling her. The voice, soft yet stern, like the echo of thunder wrapped in velvet. And the recurring number, 19. She would wake up with her pulse racing and her hands clammy. At first, Isla dismissed it as fatigue. Then she started seeing the number everywhere. Patient files, temperature readings, case IDs. Once, the centrifuge stopped spinning exactly at 19 minutes, though she'd set it for 30. One evening, Isla received a sample from the emergency department, an anonymous patient in a coma brought in from a car crash. Blood work, toxicology, and a complete panel were requested. As she prepared the slides, she noticed something odd. The blood cells were glowing faintly under the microscope. Not fluorescent like in tag samples. This glow was soft, almost alive, like it was breathing. She repeated the test. Same result. Contamination, she muttered, though a cold bead of sweat formed on her temple. She sent a request to redraw the sample. The nurse responded, bewildered. The patient died 10 minutes ago. No heartbeat. But here's the odd part. His body hasn't cooled. No rigor mortis. And, get this, the ECG monitor kept showing a wave. Not a flat line. Not normal either. Just a rhythmic pulse. Almost like a chant. Isla felt a chill. She returned to the microscope and stared into the glowing cells. And then she saw it. The word, faint but there, formed by the alignment of red blood cells. It read, Allah. She recoiled. Impossible. Random pattern. Coincidence. But the next night, the dream returned. This time clearer. A man with a long white robe and a gentle face stood in the corridor. Why do you deny what is clear? She gasped. Who are you? You already know. And then the corridor flooded with blood. Not gory, but luminous. Red as rubies and bright as dawn. She woke up screaming. Driven by fear and obsession, Isla buried herself in research. She analyzed every cell from that sample. She even ran genomic sequencing. The sequences showed anomalies she had never seen before. There were repeated phrases in the DNA strands. Sequences that, when translated through numerical ciphering, something she'd never tried before, yet instinctively felt compelled to, spelled out Arabic letters. One of her colleagues, Dr. Ahmed Rahman, a kind yet reserved microbiologist, noticed her distress. Are you all right, Isla? I need to ask you something. This might sound strange. Can Arabic letters form naturally in biological data? He looked at her, surprised. What do you mean? She showed him the printout. He paled. This says La ilaha illallah. What does it mean? There is no God but Allah. Silence stretched between them. You believe in this? She whispered. Yes. And perhaps, so do you. Somewhere deep down. What if I said I've been seeing things, hearing things, signs? Then perhaps your heart is being called. She didn't answer. She couldn't. Logic was crumbling, and her heart was trembling. A week later, Isla went to the morgue. She needed to see the patient, the strange man whose blood had changed her reality. The tag read, Unknown male, approximate 33 years old. Middle Eastern features. No ID. He had been buried by the hospital per protocol. She asked for the CCTV footage of the night he was admitted. As she watched the grainy video, her breath caught. The man was walking calmly, barefoot, eyes closed into oncoming traffic. No panic, no hesitation. It was almost intentional. Before the truck hit him, he raised his hands and whispered something. Isla froze the frame. Lips were forming one word. Allah. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her apartment filled with an eerie silence, like the world itself was holding its breath. She walked to the mirror to wash her face and stopped. On the fog glass, 5 words appeared on their own. Say it and be free. The lights flickered. The room went cold. A shadow moved across the corridor. And then a scream. Hers. The next day, Isla didn't go to work. She visited a mosque instead. Standing awkwardly among strangers, she asked for Dr. Ahmed. He came quickly, surprised but serene. She told him everything. The dreams, the glowing cells, the word in the blood, the voice. Tears streamed down her face. I don't understand it all, but I feel like something is breaking open inside me. Something ancient. Something true. Dr. Ahmed held her hand gently. Say what you saw. Say what your heart already believes. Her voice cracked. La Allah, Mohammedur Rasulullah. The moment she uttered the shahada, the room changed. It wasn't physical. It was the weight. 1,000 burdens lifted. The static in her head silenced. Her heart felt like it had finally come home. But peace did not come without struggle. That night, the shadows returned. She dreamed of the morgue, the body of the man who had died. Except now he was sitting up. Your test is not over. He pointed her chest. A black mist seeped from her heart. Dark, writhing, whispering doubts. You must cleanse this, or it will devour you. She woke up coughing, choking. The room was dark, suffocating. She turned on every light, but the shadows danced. Allahu Akbar, she whispered. The shadows recoiled. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. They vanished. That was her miracle. Faith itself was light. Isla, now Aliyah, left her job months later. She traveled to Istanbul, Cairo, and finally to Mecca. The moment she stood before the Kaaba, everything in her soul wept. She wasn't a scientist searching for data anymore. She was a soul seeking Allah, and she had found him. Back home, she began teaching others about her journey. She shared her story in interfaith gatherings, medical lectures, even online seminars. One day, she received a letter. No name, just a note. I was the man in the dream. You were chosen to witness the sign. There are others who will come. Guide them. She held the note, trembling, then smiled. The lab technician had become a believer. The sterile world of test tubes had given way to the infinite ocean of faith. And her story was only the beginning.